I rather like the TUI livery, but I've never been that infatuated by the 767. Here we have a combination of both, so is this an aircraft worth having in one's collection? We'll find out right after the drop. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review Where We. Today we'll take a closer look, as mentioned, at a Boeing 767-300ER of TUIfly Belgium. At the front of the box we have the cutout, so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of the box we have the TUI branding. Then on the back side of the box we have this absolutely fantastic box design of Herpa Wings. It's the most beautiful box design you can ever have wished for, and there is no other competitor or die-cast manufacturer that has ever made a box that is this amazing. Just kidding, it's awful. But at least now we know that this model is a limited edition. And here she is, the Boeing 767-300ER in the current livery of TUIfly Belgium, or just the TUI group in general. Now, as I mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of the 767, but can this aircraft model maybe warm me up to the aircraft? Let's see. If we take a look here at the tail section, we can see on the vertical stabilizer we have the TUI branding. On top of that we have the last two letters of the registration code. On the fuselage we then find the full registration code of the aircraft and the aircraft type specification. There is actually also a little bit of detailing around the APU exhaust, which I forgot to film, but honestly speaking, it's barely worth mentioning. Then at the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage, we have again the writing of TUI and also the writing of Sunshine, which I assume is the name of the aircraft, but I'm not entirely sure. If you know, then feel free to let me know in the comment section below. The detailing around the cockpit section itself is very bare-boned, as we are really used to by now from Herpa Wings. We have the cockpit windows, surprise, surprise, and the window wipers have been printed on as well. Other than that, we actually only just find the last two letters of the registration code just above the cockpit windows. That's it. But unfortunately, we won't find many more details when we look at the engine nacelles, which have been kept in all white. They do carry the TUI.com branding and have the silver leading edge, but that's all when it comes to printed details on the engines, and nothing else is there. A bit disappointing. The physical detailing of the engine nacelles I think is just fine. Herpa is doing a good job with that. For example, here if we look into the engines from the front, we can very nicely see the engine fan blades. Then we can move on to the wings to see what details we can find here. And if we start off with the top side, we can see the different flaps, slats and spoilers carved out very nicely. We also have some different shades of grey for additional detailing. The underside I think looks alright. Here we also find the full registration code of the aircraft once again. Then the 767 has been retrofitted with winglets, which look very nice here on the aircraft model, also with the TUI branding printed on by Herpa Wings. They've done a decent job with that. Another place where Herpa has done a decent job is the landing gear. Here we can see the main landing gear underneath the wings, and I think that is looking just fine. Just fine is also the front landing gear, although I would have loved to see a few printed details here, but of course we only get those with Herpa Wings Club models. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here in the back side of the aircraft, and here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Boeing 767-300ER in the current livery of TUIfly Belgium, or the TUI group. So what can we say about this aircraft model? Overall, I would say the print quality is of a very nice standard from Herpa Wings. Of course, I would like to have more printed details, especially since Herpa is able to pull them off, but unfortunately we just don't get these things at the moment from Herpa Wings. The physical detailing of the aircraft model I think is also just fine, but I would say for any scale 500 collector who likes the TUI livery and the 767, this is absolutely an aircraft worth having in one's collection. For me personally, who is not a huge fan of the 767, I think Herpa would have needed to put more effort into it to really make me excited about it, but it's really not a bad model, although I'm not sure that it is really worth spending around 32 euros on, to be honest. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, that really does help us out, and of course if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching, hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.